there are good actors and bad actors, and I think that, like you said earlier, how it's people will talk about something being um, environment friendly, eco friendly, or they're trying to appeal to a certain demographic. I think that I've seen it firsthand with corporations. Talk about diversity and this and that, and send out emails to the company about celebrating this month or celebrating that month and this, that, and whatever. And I think it's almost it's how like a politician would shake hands and kiss babies. Corporations and businesses talk about how they're diverse or they care about diversity, or they care about this, that, and the other. Um, I see a fair amount of bad actors there. Here's another thing about diversity. Here's a unpopular opinion.
Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Unpopular opinion segment.
Unpopular opinion.
Hashtag.
Some of my people, they hate this. And it just is what it is. I got people really close to me. And mind you, Dimitri, I grew up like my dad's Jamaican, my parents are Jamaican. I grew up in a Rastafarian environment, but for part of our life, we were Black Muslim. Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. Read all the books, ate all the bean pies, read all the final calls, all this type of stuff. And so I'm very familiar with history of Black people. Those literally my bedtime stories. So anyways, grew up in that. So I'll get around some people that look like me, and we'll talk about, how do I explain it? They will talk about the necessity of diversity and how, let's just use, I'm Black, right? So we use Black people, how Black people shouldn't get this or get that or get the other. And on one hand, they are right. I completely feel like some things happen historically that have impacted the community today. That is 1000% correct. I feel like that. I also feel that when things get harped on, or when a certain race starts to get special or demand special treatment, it takes away from what we ultimately want, which is equality. So if we want equality, if anybody wants equality, you cannot simultaneously request special treatment, even if some bullshit happened in the past. Unpopular opinion.
Well, I thought you walked that tightrope pretty smoothly. So
We'll see.
it's a very, I mean, the way you put it is very logical and makes sense. And I think it's similar to the environment question, where almost everyone is kind of on the same page, at least in my opinion. Like, everyone believes in the general direction of how things should go, and then it's just a matter of how to accomplish that. And with so many people having good intentions, you're going to have your people who take advantage of it, the scam artists, and it's similar in all industries. So you can, and same with Christianity and religion, right? So you could have a scammer Christian who's hijacking the brand and using it to build funds, build influence in race relations, diversity. It seems like it's also kind of this hidden trap of who to trust, which movements to get behind, because what are the incentives behind it? Like, what are the ultimate goals of the people running it? Are they aligned with the people they claim to be wanting to help? And like you're saying, what's the ultimate goal? You're saying the ultimate goal is equality. Well, is that really the ultimate goal for everyone? It may not be, because think about it this way. If equality is achieved, right? Let's say there's complete equality of everything. And by the way, equality is not equality of outcome, right? Because it's impossible unless you do that with violence. So if we're just talking about equality of opportunity, let's say that exists, okay? Just like magic button, it exists, and then the people who are fighting for it no longer are no longer necessary. So they need to keep marketing that there is a problem and that it needs more attention more than ever, and it needs more money than ever. Otherwise, they're out of a job. And that kind of sucks in terms of for society.
That is yes, I've never thought about it like that. When you say that, it made me think of like most doctors or hospitals or institutions, whatever it is, there is no money in the cure. If you come in and we cure you and you never come again, then LTV is dead, right? We need to put band-aids on the bullet wounds and have you keep coming back. And so if you cure people, then you'll lose some money. And kind of the same case here, if things just got to where they were equal and people felt like they had a fair chance, a fair opportunity, and that was promoted, then there would be certain businesses out of business.
Exactly. And it's like we're in marketing, online marketing for that matter, and a lot of people say that marketers ruin everything. And to some degree I agree with that.
Yes.
Where something new comes out, a new social media platform or a new movement, or just like you're saying with politics, it's all marketers that are driving it. The news channels, all of this is driven by marketing and money, and it does kind of ruin everything because it takes the reality and truth out of it as a top priority. And I guess to tie this back into religion, and man, like, I guess we could make this a controversial episode, but I don't think we're getting that too far, too crazy right now. But to bring it into religion and why maybe it is necessary, and why I wish there were better marketers in Christianity in today's day and age, because if generating income for something that is not serving the public or your constituency at large is what you're doing, that's not a moral thing to be doing. And the only thing stopping someone from being immoral is what are their ethics and what are their beliefs, and a lot of times that is driven by religion. So if it was a Mormon person on average, let's say, I would trust them more to stop something that they know is wrong. And man, that is, like, again, good marketing on them, and maybe good in reality on them. Like, maybe they're actually, a lot of people make fun of them, and they're like, there's that play that made fun of them and people make fun of them, but ultimately it seems like they can be trusted, at least in my opinion.
And to go to the reputation, back to marketing, right? The reputation of your offer and just reputation of your brand. Why is it okay to make fun of the Church of Latter-day Saints or Mormons, or whatever? Like, it was okay to have a Broadway show that, made fun of them. I saw a South Park episode a long time ago. I think it's the same guys who did the Broadway show. It was a funny episode, I ain't gonna lie. But like, it was okay. Whereas if there was a Broadway show that made fun of Muslims, the Muslims ain't having it. Like, they're not having that. If it was a Broadway show or something that really made fun of Christians or Jesus Christ, or there would be this uproar. But in a lot of cases, it's okay to bash on the Mormon community publicly. It's okay to put out a Broadway show. And so now who's at fault? Is it the public for not giving that religion the respect that it would give other ones? Or is it the fault of the Mormons for not raising hell about the treatment that they get publicly?
Probably both. I wonder what pushback the Mormons did have in that instance, but based on their values, like, there's only so much that they can do, or like they can only maybe pursue something legally, where, or maybe they're just like, this will blow over and we're not gonna pay too much attention to it, because those are the values of the group, and they're all about the values of the group. So man, and like going back to the companies too, right? The companies that I mean, you have your fakers and your makers, the ones who are doing it for real. They're doing it. Uh, but man, we only have a few minutes left, but we like in terms of diversity is like diversity is technically a broad term because you could have people who look exactly alike and are from the exact same background, speak the same language, and be very diverse within them. It's just different variables that are diverse other than their background and their skin color. So diversity, that's another. It's like a lot of things have taken that word and maybe I don't know what the right word is. What I'm trying to say is like they've just taken part of its meaning and then ran with it, and the credibility of the word itself has now just morphed into only talking about one thing. So anytime it's brought up, it's just about the one thing.
There's two things, and we might go a little long. Can we go a little
Yeah, we
longer?
can go long. We
There's
could
two
go all
things.
day, I think.
We really could with these subjects. There's two things. I think that diversity has caused the opposite of if its intent, right? So diversity itself has that topic in some cases has caused a wedge because when you talk about diversity, you very rarely are talking about including a Caucasian male. You might it's typically some other race or a woman. She could be white as well, but diversity typically excludes the white man. And so in my email business, for example, where it's a white male over 55 Republican, um, another email subject line that works very well is whites not allowed. Like subject lines that again are confirming their beliefs of them being excluded when it comes to something of diversity, specifically the white male. So diversity, that topic itself, has been divisive. That's one. Two, my question to you is, does diversity matter? And let me give you a caveat. My question is, does diversity matter? For me, I think that I'm not going to answer the full question. I want to hear your answer. But from a marketing standpoint, I love the lack of diversity because then it helps me with my targeting. I want that shit to be like as non-diverse
Mhm.
as possible. Like I want to niche down. This is a white woman who's affluent and does yoga. Like I don't want diversity, but overall, period. Like, do you think diversity matters?